let's call them the Las Vegas former fans from the Bay who showed up for 56 years in a falling apart Coliseum on concrete seats through 90 lost seasons, watching a billionaire sabotage the city and sell the team on rooted in Oakland, but got freaking uprooted from Oakland. Fans were so abandoned they were doing lewd shit in the upper deck just to feel something, anything, from Bash Brothers to getting their nuts bashed in by a two-faced turncoat. Then the MLB signed off on this hit job and made the team play homeless baseball in a minor league park before dumping it in the desert for the love of the money, not for the love of the game, and still have the nerve to call it progress athletics.
Hola, NLCPod people. We are back in 2026. New year, same old shenanigans. This week, I'll go Pablo Torre on the college bowl system. And despite the fact that their presence in the college football postseason is a detriment to everything about the sport, we feel that you're not going to pry the fat cats from the playoff trough.
You have these 990 forums where you can go look at everything. But it is just such a hidden agenda with all of these people. And I think they want it. They obviously want it that way. And for the college football playoff to tell the Sugar Bowl, hey man, you don't have a game anymore. That's big. They won't. I can't see them doing it.
We're also back with another edition of Coaches That Can't Help Themselves.
So let's just file this one away in the folder titled Coaches That Just Can't Help Themselves.
Mm-hmm. What part is this, Barca? Is this part 100 or there's a lot of parts?
It's like the Avatar movies. I don't know how many of them there are.
And we give some insight on how it causes problems within the department and to a staffer's mental health.
We'd walk down the hallway, say in the gym, walking. It's only two of us walking on each side. And I would say, hey, coach, or how you doing, coach? Wouldn't make any eye contact.
No,
just walk straight past me. But when they needed something,
ooh, they were there.
That same walk, oh, hey, Barca, what's up, man?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Those were the worst relationships, and I had those every time. And there was nothing about those relationships over time where eventually I would just be like, you know what, I'm not killing myself for this, because this is a one-sided relationship, and I'm only valuable to you based on what I can do for you.
Barca also introduces a new segment called Poking the Boggs. I think the name of the bit speaks for itself.
What kind of question is that? Why is he asking? Why are you asking Belichick that? Are you going to coach in the NFL again? Who's going to hire him? There's tons available coaching positions right now. No one wants to sniff that guy, man. This is the true story of two washed-up sports guys who chased the dream, private flights, championship rings, running sideline to sideline on per diem and adrenaline.
We gave our 20s and our 30s to the industry, pulled off miracles that were never in the job description. In return, low pay, long hours, and we still got cut from the team.
This is about what really happens behind the badge. The burnout, the bad bosses, the dream job that didn't love you back, but also the lifelong friendships, the chaos, the holy shit stories you couldn't make up. And somehow, despite everything, you'd still do parts of it all over again.
This is one for the ones who lived it, loved it, hated it, and still kind of miss it. For everyone who's ever asked, how in the hell did we survive that? We're two former sports insiders with more than 40 years of experience and more than enough scars to make fun of it all.
And just enough trauma to start a podcast instead of going to therapy.
I'm Brandon Barca.
And I'm Andy Boggs.
And this is No Longer Credentialed. We once had access, now we have opinions.
Sports.
Boggsy, we are back. It is a new year on No Longer Credentialed. And I can feel something's in the air tonight. Maybe, just maybe, this is the year we either get discovered by Netflix and sell out like Real Big Fish in 1996, if you remember that song.
Yes, I do.
Or we receive as much hate mail as the final season of Stranger Things. Do you watch that show, Boggs?
I don't. My wife does. She loves it.
I don't watch it either. So
yeah,
all I know is that my Twitter feed is consumed by how bad the fifth season is. So
okay, interesting.
But we don't need to talk about that. Something else must be addressed. Boggsy also got the glow up for 2026. He's got a ring light now.
Yeah, man.
For his cave. He did have New Beats headphones that he tried on at the start, but something wasn't working properly, so he's got to fix those for next episode.
Yeah.
This man is one upgrade away from demanding a stunt double or an intern for the show to make him pancakes and do his research.
Yes, let's go.
Boggsy, 2026 is looking bright with your ring light, my friend.
Yeah.
We've got a fun episode planned for you today. Boggsy, my friend, is going to do his best Pablo Torre investigative journalism impression and willingly subject himself to the pain of explaining, once again, how college football is still broken.
Man, it never ceases.
Then we're going to read an excerpt from chapter 849 of the best-selling book, Coaches Being Stupid, because coaches simply cannot help themselves.
No.
And maybe, just maybe, at the end of this show, there's a surprise segment. Boggs has no idea about it.
Ooh, nice.
And finally, one more note before we get started that we're really excited about. Over the next few weeks, we've got some great interviews lined up as we explore other corners of the athletic department. We're going to hear from former staffers in athletic training and academic services about what it's really like working in sports. We know you guys are probably really, really tired of hearing us complain about it.
Yes.
So let's bring somebody else on.
Yeah, that's right.
Boggsy, segment 1. This one's all yours, buddy. Good luck, my friend.
Well, buckle up. This is going to be an adventure. But I wanted to take a look at the bowl system on this week's show and the absurdity of the financial situations involving all of these top-tier bowls. You may ask yourself, Boggs, why are you torturing yourself? Why are you spinning your wheels on how truly messed up college sports are? And why let it bother you? And how does it relate to this podcast? Well, those are all good questions, and for the life of me, I don't know why I had this wild hair to look into these things. Some of the numbers are astounding and will give you a good idea on why these bowl games want to stay involved in the college playoff system. First, why do we care? Well, we worked a lot of hours for a long time for nothing, for no money whatsoever. We were told we didn't have budget to have chicken tenders, so instead we ate canned chili and cheese. Barca, remember those days, I'm sure. We had to make our own credentials because there was no budget to have someone else help with them. Our budget was cut in the spring because the finance people had to cover other expenses with our specific area's money. It was like clockwork. It happened every spring. The money was never there. Second, the recent top 100 most watched programs in the United States came out from Nielsen, and football once again dominated the conversation. 84 of the top 100 broadcasts came from the NFL.
84?
84, dude. Crazy, right? 7 from college football. There were only 5 non-sports broadcasts that made the top 100. And to put it in perspective, the last scripted show to make the top 100 list was the series finale of The Big Bang Theory in 2019.
One of your
Barca.
favorites. That's one of your favorites.
Dude, I love that show. But anyway, I don't think I even watched the finale. But anyway.
Oh, come on.
I don't think I did. I really don't. Like, once it got to, like, past season 4 or 5, I was out. Like, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. If I see the reruns on TBS, like seasons 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'll watch. After that, I can't do it. Anyway.
It took you 4 seasons to get to that point?
I know, right? So sports on TV is popular, very popular, and there's an extremely large amount of money made with these broadcasts and the rights to show them. The demand for games, good games, meaningful games is also a strong draw at the gate for leagues and teams. Couple the TV rights picture and the demand at the gate for premier events, and you start to understand why valuations of professional sports teams are skyrocketing. Why the Lakers sold for $10 billion. Why the Celtics sold for $6 billion. Why the annual rate of return is over 19% for these franchises. Everyone wants a chunk of the pie. There are billionaires lining up to buy pieces of these teams. It's happening across the professional sports landscape, men and women's sports. It's the closest thing to a sure bet in the financial market than almost anything out there. The return on the S&P 500, which represents 500 large U.S. companies, is 10%. So the return on a sports franchise in 2025 was almost double that number. Crazy financial stuff. So this gets me back around to college sports and specifically college football and the bowl system. Question, Barca. How many owners do we have in college sports?
If it's like the movie Office Space where Peter Gibbons is at his desk and he says, Bob, I've got 8 different bosses.
Right.
So anytime I do something wrong, I hear about it from 8 different people.
Yeah, that's where we are. So the answer is none. There's all of this demand for games. There is a big market for eyeballs on television. The Indiana-Alabama game had almost 24 million viewers and became the most watched college football game of the 12-team playoff era. But in all honesty, there's really no place for the money to go from the sport. Yes, teams receive money for advancing in the playoff. Yes, teams get money to help with travel, which is a big difference in past bowl game experiences. But it's minuscule in comparison to the amount of money that is actually made at the gate and from television. And this money from the playoffs and bowl payouts go to the conference, who takes a share themselves and divvies out the rest. For the playoff, $4 million is paid to each round of 12-team, which goes to the conferences, $4 million to the quarterfinalists, $8 million to the teams with a bye, and then $6 million to semifinalists and finalists. Each team also receives $3 million for expenses per round. So that's awfully nice of these bowl games and the college football playoff to help teams like Oregon and Texas Tech fly all the way across the country to play a quarterfinal game in Miami. Yes, it's a mess. Okay, so what? That sounds like a good deal for the teams and departments. They get to get their expenses paid and make some money from their league, but not the amount you think. Last season, the Big Ten in the playoff made around $20 million. Ohio State, who won the national championship, took home how much, Barca? How much you think they took home?
$10 billion.
Well, $2.5 million. That's it. The Big Ten equally distributes their CFP money. In the SEC, there are incentives for making certain tiers of the playoff, and in the ACC, they're letting Miami keep all of it. So just like with everything else in college sports, there's no rules for this either. I could keep going and digging deeper, but I don't want to bore you with more financial gobbledygook. But I will say this. The CFP receives $1.3 billion per year from ESPN, plus all of the ticket revenues from the playoff bowl games. Also, reports from the Columbus Dispatch are that Ohio State netted $5.1 million from their home playoff game last season and grossed $19 million, with 14 of that going back to the CFP to redistribute. So I say all of this to mention that although schools do receive a nice amount of money for making the playoff, they probably don't receive what they should. And I won't even mention the players' lack of a share, which is huge. And the CFP money touches a lot of different parties and encourages sponsors to give money to other areas besides the actual participants themselves. Bowl game execs, bowl game foundations, you name it. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, and with no rules, many manage to get a seat at the bowl playoff trough. And now to the main event. Each of these bowl games are run, Barky, you're never going to believe this, as nonprofits.
Of course.
How they are, I'm not sure, but our good friends at ProPublica have made their 990 tax forms from 2024 available. So we decided to let you guys know how bad this is and how many hands are in the college football cookie jar. And I don't know how these bowl games get all of their money, but the important thing to know is that they get it, and they get lots of it. So last year, the bowl games that hosted college football game, playoff football games, had a total of $261 million in revenue, with $230 million in expenses, which resulted in a net profit across the board of $31 million. This is what's going to make you regurgitate in your mouth, however. The bowl exec pay. Combined, if you add up the salaries of the top 5 earners of these bowl games and put them all together, their pay is over $12 million.
Good gosh.
Rick Baker, the president and CEO of the Cotton Bowl, took home the most pay in 2024 with a cool $1.35 million, and that's just in 2024.
Great job, Rick.
This is the disgusting secret of college football and, in honesty, college sports in general. For years, players didn't make any money. Staffers still don't. Athletic departments would spend millions to send their teams to a bowl game at a huge expense and sacrifice other areas of the department to do so. Meanwhile, these bowl execs and bowl games work for 2 months out of the year and make obscene amounts of money. So the question becomes, what is going to pull these fat cats away from the table? If you ask me, just like they have for the last 50 years, they'll go kicking and screaming. So Barca, for me, the whole thing is just where's the money going? It's obviously going to the bowl games, but it's just it's a large piece of the puzzle on why college sports is all jacked up, man. It's the financial piece of it is so big. Like people on campus are making no money. Well, the coaches are. And then you have these outside entities that are just crushing it. It's really, really messed up.
I think you did a really good job of tracing some of the money. Like any good investigation, they always say, follow the money. But to your point, where is it all going? That's a question I would have. In a perfect world, we'd be able to see how everything is distributed. But it sounds to me from your numbers that there's a large portion of it that's not reported to the public.
Yeah, and I think the main thing for me that I kind of took away from this too, I mean, we talked about this, is that, the NFL, where the money's going. It's going to owners. It's going to the league. It's going to stadium authorities, and, you kind of know where the money's going to go. You don't know exactly how much. They dictate how much the players get in a share when they go to the Super Bowl or they make the playoffs. I mean, you get all of this publicly known data.
Well, they have a CBA.
They have exactly. They have a CBA. In college football, you've got all of these people that are making all this money. You got this money going to who knows who. Like $1.3 billion from ESPN, that is supposed to go distributed to conferences and whatever else they're going to do. And plus you have the gate, the ticket revenue goes back to the CFP. So, I mean, you're talking $1.5 billion a year. And Ohio State got $2.5 million? What is going on here?
And to your point, everybody's in on it.
Everybody's in on it.
And so, like you said, man, it's hard to pull a fat cat or a hungry dog. If there's a bunch of food just sitting there, they're not going to stop.
No.
And so I did a little digging on my own too. I was really curious on the TV deal about the CFP makeup. And, the CFP really has all the power right now. They're in control of the current TV deal. University presidents are the ones sitting on the CFP board, so their hands are in the cookie jar. In 2024, the CFP agreed to a new 6-year, $7.8 billion contract that ensures ESPN will remain the sole media rights holder of the event through the 2031-32 season.
There's so many hidden things going on, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like the mob, but, I mean, nobody really knows what's happening with all this money. And then I found this in 2015, the Allstate, they don't release this stuff publicly, it's privately, but Advertising Age made a claim that Allstate in 2000, this is 11 years ago, 2015, paid $35 million to sponsor the Sugar Bowl. Wow. So that's even more money for the fat cats, man. And not to mention, Coke is also a sponsor. AT&T is also a sponsor of the CFP. So I'm sure the Sugar Bowl's getting a kick of that too. I don't mean to pick on the Sugar Bowl, but it's just like it's this way across the board. And I think another thing that really bothers me, Barca, and I had to do some pretty good digging about this, but no one's reported on bowl stuff. I could not find a bowl exec pay since 2020. I couldn't find it. No one has it. You have these 990 forms where you can go look at everything, but it is just such a hidden agenda with all of these people, and I think they want it. They obviously want it that way, and for the college football playoff to tell the Sugar Bowl, hey man, you don't have a game anymore. That's big. They won't. I can't see them doing it.
It really does feel like there's some funny business that might be going 100%. On behind the scenes. People stuffing each other's pockets. Probably very similar to the political world. A lot of people
very
out
political.
There are definitely in it for personal gain.
Yeah.
Much more over the entirety of the sport.
Yeah.
And these people are influencing
a
lot of major decisions.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that the mayor of Pasadena is involved in all this. The city council of Pasadena is like, we got to have these people coming to town. We got to make our $120 million a year.
Economic impact.
Revenue. So you have all of these city governments. New Orleans city government, hey, we need these hotel rooms filled. This is kind of a quiet time if it wasn't for these bowl games. And then you throw the tradition in and people on the Rose Bowl broadcast saying, oh, I can't believe they would ever think about taking a game away from here. And it's just a beautiful, I mean, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a beautiful experience for everybody there. But it's also, it's a different era. We're not just playing just an exhibition game anymore. Like these games, there's really only the playoff games that matter in the postseason these days. The other games don't matter. And so somehow that got taken away from them. The playoff talk really kind of, there's a few bowl games still playing in that sandbox, but a lot of them are not anymore. So that's, I guess, a baby step.
Yeah, Boggsy, my thought on bowl games just in general, who really still gives a shit in 2025 about bowl brands? Just spare me this whole argument about
Who does?
The rich tradition excuse.
Yeah.
And, college football has changed. It's 2026 now. Let's just go by the NFL model. And we've seen coaches speaking up about this. Oregon's coach, the travel was ridiculous for the quarterfinals of the CFP, but NFL, they've got the model. Higher seeds host home games until the championship.
It's easy.
If you want to honor tradition, I'd say look at the Rose Bowl hosting the national championship every year.
Or like Omaha hosts the College World Series every year. Just make the Rose Bowl the place. That's just where it is. But I will say that venue needs a big-time update because if they had it at SoFi, they would make double the revenue because it seats more people. Maybe it doesn't seat more people. It's just got more luxury amenities that they can charge people for. The Rose Bowl's like, you're going to watch the game. I don't think there's really anything else there, which is great. But
yeah, that's part of the lore. That's part of the lore of those big, massive venues for these bowl games, obviously, right? They're trying to maximize revenue. I mean, we used to see it in basketball. NCAA championships, not the same thing. You play in this massive dome instead of like a 18 to 20,000 seat arena.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's obviously ways to fix it. We have our ideas. Dan Lanning has his ideas. But until they can get these fat cats away from the table, until they can figure out how that's going to work, I think the bowls are just going to be here to stay, and it's just not good for the sport. But then again, the way the portal's done is not good for the sport. The way coaches are hired is not good for the sport. The way that everybody's paid people are still paid under the table. How people don't pay attention or don't follow rules and are afraid to follow rules, basically, because they feel like they'll get left behind. It's just everything. So why not pile on more that this is just one more spoke in the wheel of dysfunction?
These fat cats, I tried to look into it a little bit, and you don't have to search too hard. I was like, the CFP is really in control of everything right now. And I was like, well, who runs the CFP? Well, you look at their board, and it's all college presidents. And then you look at their individual committee that determines the seeds that are in, and it's all athletic directors.
Yes.
And so there are fat cats everywhere that are involved in this.
That's the problem.
And
that's the whole problem.
CFP controls the current TV deal.
Yep.
And then you look at the bowl games, the individual bowls that have been around, some of them, probably close to a century.
Long time. Yeah.
And they treat their bowls like a business, even though they're claiming to be nonprofit.
They do.
So,
even some of these minor bowls, their execs are making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Go look it up. The 990 forums on ProPublica, they've got them all. Go look for them. These guys make a lot of money. But then that gets back to the fact that, back in the day, such as close as maybe 5-10 years ago, if you went to a bowl game, that was a major expense for your athletic department.
Yep.
You were paying a lot of money. Meanwhile, the fat cats of the bowl game, they're taking all your money. They're taking it. Demand's there. They're taking it all. And they're still, it's just continuing, but now it's on this massive scale. And I think it's starting to become a little bit more apparent what these guys are about as the playoff. They basically screwed up the whole postseason for college football. I mean, it's screwed up because of these fat cats of the bowl games. That's my hypothesis.
We should really pour one out for the Sugar Bowls. Oh, no, scratch that. The All-State Sugar Bowl CEO.
That's right. Yeah.
Jeff Hundley. Got to get that right.
Making
SBJ.
$800K.
From SBJ, CEO for the Sugar Bowl, Jeff Hundley, he said that demand for this year's game, and I quote, ranks among the strongest the organization has seen in recent memory, driven by an all-SEC matchup in the quarterfinal. Hundley added that the Sugar Bowl expects to negotiate a new agreement early next year. Of course they would, right?
Yep.
That would keep it involved for another 6 years, so that's what they're hoping for. Under that, the Sugar Bowl would host either a quarterfinal or semifinal game annually, but only if it meets financial benchmarks set by the CFP. Oh, great. There are guidelines.
Yeah.
Hundley said that the Sugar Bowl, get this one, which was sold out,
Yeah.
and I quote, expects to lose money this year, budgeting for a deficit of about $3.2 million. They're losing $3.2 million, Boggsy. The poor Sugar Bowl. What will they do? Are they going to be able to continue?
And they'll still report $80 million in revenue and still pay their. He's still going to make $800,000, and it's just propaganda. They're used to it, though. They're used to the propaganda. That's all they've done since the bowl games have started. It's propaganda about how great, what. I tell you another thing too. This is funny. So I'm doing research, Googling. Man, we keep throwing the Sugar Bowl under the bus, but just we're on this train. We're going to keep riding it. So if you Google Sugar Bowl Foundation, you know what comes up? Guess what comes up? All of the nonprofit stuff that they do, all the money they give to charity, all the things they're doing in their community, which is great. I'm so glad they're doing it. I'm sure it's awesome.
It's a cover.
But it's not. It's a cover. Whoever's doing their PR is like, oh, man, we really know how to, what's it called? SEO. Their SEO, they have a firm running their SEO game. They need to pay their firm a little bit more because every time you Google Sugar Bowl Foundation, it is gushes about all the things they're doing for their community. It's crazy, man.
Love some strategic SEO, Boggsy. I love the words coming out of your mouth right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to get fixed unless somebody comes in with even more money than what the bowl games are giving people. Again, we're shouting at the wind, but people need to be aware when you're watching these bowl games on TV that they're not just doing this because they want to, host a great game and have fans in there and show them a good time. I mean, they want to do that, but on the flip, they want to make money, and they're making a lot of it. And when you buy that ticket to the Sugar Bowl or the Peach Bowl or the Orange Bowl or whatever, just remember where that money's going.
One thing was interesting from the limited data that you sent me from the bowl committee budget links that were posted for a couple of the bowl sites. I was looking at some of the salaries. Obviously, the top exec is just making an insane amount of money, but I decided to just kind of look just on first glance, and one thing I notice is the age-old disparities in salaries between men and women with similar titles on staff. And so maybe Pablo Torre or someone out there wants to do some real investigative journalism on that one. But it kind of stood out to me on some of that, just disparities in salaries. But I don't know, man. The more and more I think about it, maybe all of this dysfunction's good. It's working.
Okay.
It's working,
well,
Boggsy.
We're talking about it, right?
We are talking about it. Everybody's talking about it this time of year. I saw on Front Office Sports, audiences want even more college football as the quarterfinals went up 14% this year. And the non-CFP bowls went up 13% through bowl games played through December 27th.
Jeez.
So, I guess all of these groups, CFP, the bowls, the commissioners, are all laughing all the way to the bank.
They are, and that's kind of why all this dysfunction continues, because people still buy tickets and watch games. So why change? Everybody else why can't we get rich? Why can't all these different entities dip into the college football playoff trough, you know? Like, who cares? Like, people are watching. Hell, I watched. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of the playoffs just because I think they're on too late, and B, it's just not really college football season anymore, right? It's just, again, we talked about this before on previous podcasts. Things aren't going to change until people stop watching, until those Nielsen ratings plummet.
It's not happening.
And it's not happening. So ESPN's going to keep selling ads for their games, or when their deal is up, Netflix is going to come in and pay $2 billion a year. It's going to keep going this way. That's why there's so much dysfunction. There's so much money, so much popularity. It's just never going to end.
The one thing all the dysfunction does is it keeps the sport in the headlines regularly.
It does.
There are some other sport leagues that would love to have that much attention, and everyone has opinion on it, the media, the coaches, the fans, and just based on the playoff ratings, I just shared with you, it's fair to say college football right now might be the second biggest sport
healthy
in the United States.
Yeah.
Behind the NFL.
Just of those top 100 broadcasts, 7 of them, 84 are NFL, 7 are college football. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So stay tuned, though. It's just all going to be, who knows when it goes off the rails. Maybe it's just going to be a slow drip of going off the rails. Or maybe not. Maybe it never does.
It's going to be interesting the next few years to see how the CFP treats these bowls that have been around forever. And at what point do they break off with them? Because, Lanning stood up and talked about it. He was like, we should be playing a road game at Texas Tech in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, look at the NFL. Just for TV, for broadcast, not being in the neutral environment, showing like the pageantry and the passion of college football fans. Can you imagine being on home sites all the way up until the championship game? It's just such a better visual than these stale neutral sites. Yeah. And
these poor Ole Miss fans, granted the trip to New Orleans wasn't very far. They got, they're in Arizona. So you got to fly to Arizona. And then if they win, then you got to fly back to Miami. Like, it's just such a big ask for these fans. And it's stupid. Again, it's just the fat cats, man. They're going to keep making their money, and so who cares if fans have to fly all over the country to watch their team win a national championship? It's wild, dude.
Yeah, I think the next big thing coming up, especially as it pertains to CFP and Big Ten and SEC, have debated on this and gone back and forth about the current format, the current 12-team format of the playoffs, and will it expand to 16-team playoff, which is what I think the SEC prefers, while the Big Ten says that they prefer a 24-team format. So we'll see if that happens or if it's still going to stay at the 12-team format. But going back to the Sugar Bowl quote as well, it's like, where are the bowls going to fall into all of this? And that bowl, CEO's talking about like, hey, we're hoping to extend for another 6 years.
Yeah.
So while the TV deals are kind of set here for the next, 6 years, I think maybe this could be telling here on what's determined on this, or maybe they just all push it off and say, you know what, we don't want to deal with this. We'll keep it the same format in 2026.
That's probably what they're going to do. I think they have till January the 23rd. I mean, what if they come back, hey, we're going to 16 and we're going campus sites till the championship? I don't see that happening, but they could. They've gotten enough pushback these last couple of weeks. But I think one thing is that the championships are already planned, I think, through 2028 for mid-January. So that's the next part that needs to be addressed, is the championship should honestly be happening on January 1st. It should be the last college football game of the year. Think about the ratings they would get for that championship game if that game was at the Rose Bowl at 4 o'clock on New Year's Day. It was the last game. It'd be like Super Bowl stuff, I think.
You're making too much sense.
But I think, too, another thing that kind of bothers me about the playoff is it's kind of behind a paywall. Like, it's on ESPN and it's on TNT, so you got to have cable or you got to have this package to get it. I mean, I understand why ESPN's doing it. They paid all this money. They need to, be able to sell it. But think about, what if it was on CBS or NBC or Fox? I mean, it would be through the roof. Their ratings would probably be a third higher. A third.
I was kind of surprised the quarters wasn't on ABC as well as ESPN.
Yeah.
I haven't looked on what the semis will be, if they'll put it on.
They're all on ESPN. They're all on ESPN.
No ABC.
No. Now, granted, you can watch a bunch of different, there's a bunch of different ways to watch it. You can watch it Pat McAfee if you wanted. You can watch a Skycast, which I've watched and I really enjoy, because there's no announcers. I don't have to listen to people talk. I get that sound from the stadium. It's a really enjoyable experience. They're going to have an all-22, I heard, which should be kind of fun. So they're doing some cool things with it, but you got to be an ESPN subscriber to get it. So that's going to cut down on the overall numbers of what they're going to get. So
they must not have it in their contract to be able to also air it on ABC. It must be some sort of technicality, but
yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not the expert on that.
They did Monday Night Football for a long time like that. And they still have some exclusive ESPN games, but it was only during COVID that they start simulcasting the games on ABC because they didn't have any I don't know if it was COVID or the writer's strike. It was one of those two where ABC just didn't have any content to run on Monday. So like, hey, we'll just simulcast the football game. And, oh, what do you know? Or the ratings have gone up because, yeah, you have it on broadcast TV. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to hold my breath they're going to do anything different. Again, there's just too many pockets to be greased.
Unbelievable.
On to the next segment of the show, our next topic. We know all too well, Boggsy. So let's just file this one away in the folder titled Coaches That Just Can't Help Themselves.
Mm-hmm. What part is this, Barca? Is this part 100 or... There's a lot of parts.
This is like the Avatar movies. I don't know how many of them there are.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
So, Boggsy, did you see the headlines over break involving UCLA women's basketball head coach Cori Close after her fourth-ranked Bruins picked up a big road win at number 19 Ohio State 3 days after Christmas?
I did.
You got to love this.
You can't help themselves.
Coach Cori Close sounded off first on the lack of attendance in her postgame presser. She had only one media member logged on virtually from back in California. And then a few days later, she talked about the lack of support for women's hoops compared to the coverage of men's road games. So here's the quote from Close on what she told that one lonely reporter in the presser. We've all been there.
We've been there.
She said, honestly, if I'm being really blunt with you, the energy in the building was great, but having no media here at all from either team, no AP, no nothing, doesn't say a lot. We're the only double-ranked game out today. The only one in the country. And we had no media day today. You're the only one that's asked to talk to me. And credit to you, but I don't mind if you print that either. I love it when coaches say that. You could print this.
Go ahead and print
Go ahead, put this out there.
Yeah.
Like, for the only game that had two ranked opponents, once again, to not have more coverage over this particular game, disappointing, honestly. So according to Front Office Sports, the AP sent a freelancer to cover the action who was assigned to file a straight recap with no quotes and had to submit it immediately at the buzzer. Then this AP reporter had to race across town to Columbus's NHL game, which was starting in less than an hour after the conclusion of the women's basketball game. Other Columbus outlets did cover the game, but didn't need post-game reaction for their content, didn't need the UCLA road team quotes as well.
So, happens a lot.
Yes, happens all the time in both sports, men's and women's basketball.
Yep.
It should be noted that Ohio State's football team was in the midst of preparing for their CFP matchup in the Cotton Bowl, which could have played into the lack of coverage for that game that was, again, 3 days after Christmas. So, Boggsy, I got to admit, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that warms my heart more than an SID having to deal with the fallout and pick up the pieces to secure more media coverage at future games. What is your reaction to this story?
Man, I feel bad for their PR person because I'm sure that person is scrambling to deal with their coach's comments. And, I mean, we've joked maybe she's, guerrilla calling all of her media in the LA area, asking where they were, why they weren't on the call. And so, yeah, I do feel that. I mean, honestly, I've never been a part of something like that. I've never had a coach ask me, like, hey, where's the media? Why are they not here? And I just never did. And I was actually working when the media we actually had outlets, and media kind of mattered. But yeah, I don't envy this PR person at all, because they're going to have to deal with these coaches that are her coach that is just not living in reality, to be completely
What does that
honest.
tell you, though? What does that tell you? Let's make assumptions here. When a coach, it's on their mind that they care about how many people are in the media room.
It tells me that they can't help themselves. Again, it tells me that they have to be in control of everything that's happening.
It's in their DNA.
It's in their DNA. And we talked yesterday. Nick Saban was talking to the Pat McAfee show, and they asked him, would Cignetti go to the NFL? And he's like, well, I don't know if he wants to go there because, at Alabama, we had the best nutritionists. We had the best academic people. We had the best this. We had the best that. We had all this psychological stuff. He got to control all that. And he's like, in the NFL, you don't. You got a GM drafting players. You have a limited amount of players in the free agent market. You have this. You have all these other factors that you don't control. And I think that's the big thing. So that's the way these college coaches are. They have to be in control of everything. So this is something that she could not be in control of. Did they win the game? I didn't even know. I think
won the game,
right?
They did.
They blew them out, right? They won by 20 or 30.
No, I don't think it was that much. I think it was like a 10-point game or so.
Okay. There's so many things, man. The Big Ten, you're going to play a ranked conference game on December 28th? Yep. Like, come on, man. Not only is it hard for media to cover because there's and especially a place like Columbus, it's kind of a big city. There's other things going on. But, when I was working, our first game would, after Christmas, be like the 29th or the 30th. Most of the time it was the 30th. So the kids had some time to go home. A lot of times they fly back Christmas night. So they spend Christmas morning at home, and then they're on a flight back to Nashville or wherever you are to practice on Christmas night. And I never was there for a Christmas night practice, but I think it was just kind of get the blood flowing. It was just, an hour and a half just to kind of, get moving and talk about your Christmas and all that other stuff. These poor kids, not only are they flying 3,000 miles to play a league game, but there's no way they went home for Christmas. No way. And it's ludicrous. What are we doing? What are we doing playing a prominent league game 3 days after Christmas? You cannot find a better date to play games? They play games before Christmas. Why don't you just play 2 more before Christmas? I don't know. There's a lot of layers to this, but I never had a coach said, hey, where's the media? I just never did.
You've had some coaches that probably would have been fine with no media.
100%. They didn't care.
It was a distraction.
I've worked with coaches that just don't care. They don't care about people that are there. Now, we'll get to it a little bit later. There may be other things they cared about. But as far as like who was there to cover the game, that was the last thing. They knew they had to do a post-game radio interview. They knew they had to go talk to the media. And they knew they were done after that. Whether they answered 5 questions in the post-game presser or they answered 1. I mean, I've been at games before where we've had someone, there's a lot of times we didn't even go to the post-game presser. Our coach would just come outside the locker room and there's somebody there filming on their flip cam or phone, asking them questions, 2 or 3 questions, bang, he's done. We're on the plane out of there.
I was part of a lot of press conferences.
Yeah.
For your teams and for other SID teams. And a lot of times I was filming the presser, streaming it live, blogging about it on the website. And there were times I've seen coaches, gosh, some of it may be a women's basketball thing. I mean,
maybe. I
remember being there. I mean, there were men's basketball pressers like that too, where it'd just be me filming and 1 or 2 people in there. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say, especially in December, those last 2 or 3 weeks are a ghost town.
It's just brutal.
But it's this common thing that's happened over the years where there are some coaches out there, for example, in women's basketball, where they just endlessly complain and compare their sport to men's basketball. And I get some of the gripes. I get it. But when you start hearing about, and I had this with a women's basketball coach, where it's like, well, why isn't media covering our game? Or why are there not more fans in the seats? Or why did the men's game have this giveaway and we didn't have a giveaway? Or they had a halftime act and we didn't have a halftime act.
That's a good one.
I got into it with content where they would just be like counting the numbers of pieces of content on the website. Sometimes it's a little too much, especially for us lowly staffers that aren't getting paid a lot and we're trying to juggle like 18 different sports.
Yeah.
And I've said this in the past. I get it. Coaches, they're wired to push for more, and I get it. But at what expense? And I remember sitting in some women's basketball where I'd be filming and it would just be me and whoever the scout message board person that would just write message board posts would be in there interviewing. And sometimes I'd chime in to ask questions. I got better at that over the years as I honed my craft. But it was awkward and I get it. But then again, from the larger picture, like it's a press conference. And maybe this is just me saying this because I've been in thousands of pressers, but is a local reporter's game story with quotes, what is that really going to do for your program? And she went on later to talk about just how important it is for the storytelling part of the sport. I'm just like, what stories are you going to tell coming out of a game?
Yeah.
Like we've heard the same quotes over and over. It's limited. You have a couple questions to ask and it's done.
Right.
It's not typically a one-on-one. She had a follow-up quote to Front Office Sports, and I won't read the whole thing, but she did a couple days later to clarify some comments. She admitted that traditional media is not the same in 2026. But, this is also a coach. She was born in 1971. She's used to a completely different media setup than what's happening today. And newspapers and reporters were important back then. But it's dying off compared to 20 years ago. And national reporters and fanboy bloggers aren't traveling around the country every week to attend big games, unfortunately. The costs aren't sustainable for their business.
No.
And you know what? Awesome to the one reporter that got on virtually. But virtual pressers suck.
They are bad.
Especially if it's post-game. You know what I mean? It's just awkward and weird. I mean, it's awkward doing job interviews and just any of this. It's just so detached. And I don't know. My free advice to Cori Close would just be like, get over it. Get over it. Get over how you think your program should be covered. And congrats. I'm being serious. Congrats. You took your team to the Final Four last year. That's a huge accomplishment. But sometimes when coaches have success, oh boy, does that entitlement grow that following year? We're a Final Four program.
Yeah.
I expect more out of our media. I expect more out of our attendance. I expect all of these things. And I don't know, man, that shit will drive you crazy.
Yeah, it will. It's just something you can't control, At the end of the day, you can't. And I don't know. They just can't help themselves. They just can't. And they're just wired that way. I don't know how many times we've said it. It's just they just can't help it.
Unrealistic expectations. And I can just hear it ringing in my head now. It's like, hey, everybody, we're winning now.
Yeah.
Where's the media? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
They should just be showering us and everything. I was like, that's not always how it works. I'm sorry. I wish, let's look at the bigger picture here. Like, you're coaching at UCLA. You're coaching in one of the largest markets in the country, if not the world.
The world. Yeah.
And sometimes coaches need to take a step back. I've seen it with coaches in sports where they walk out and they're like, we're struggling to get 30,000 football fans in the SEC in the stands. Wouldn't it be so much grander if I coached somewhere that had 108,000 fans? I've seen that. So if you really care about media coverage for your team, here's some more free advice. Don't sign up to be the women's basketball coach at UCLA, where you're just a blip on the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to know your audience. You got to know where you are on the totem pole. And I know people don't want to hear that. Coaches don't want to hear where they are on the totem pole. But, UCLA women's basketball is not probably in the top 10 in LA, maybe top 20. And there's so many things, Barca. And I think it all has to do with it's the old school way of PR in sports. Like, we just expect people to show up. And I was this way. When they put their uniforms on, hey, there should be people here covering this game. Well, then you think back, you're like, well, why should they be there? What effort have I made to give them a reason to come to the game? And I think that's what we have to start, well, people in PR and sports PR have to start thinking about moving forward. How can we make this? How can I cut through the attention economy and get people to actually care about what my team is doing? And to me, that's the way you got to make connections with people and pick up the phone and invite people to practice, or, maybe go to lunch with them. I mean, you're going to have to be a little bit more proactive. It's not like it was in 1995. There's a lot of other things going on.
There are better ways to accomplish this.
Yeah.
Building relationships with media day in and day out. Like, you don't wave your wand and it happens. That's a real investment.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Hayes kind of should have already been in the barn. I don't want to put a lot on this PR person, but I mean, what if she would have told her coach, that morning at shoot-around, hey, today's a pretty busy day. Their APs, there's a Columbus Blue Jackets game. They're going to be in and out of here really fast. Their media's scattered because of football. Obviously, we don't have anybody traveling with us. We're going to have somebody on Zoom, though, to talk to you post-game. But just kind of communicate up front that, hey, this is going to be a rough day, for media. Again, I don't want to put it, but it's the old school way of thinking as a PR person in sports that, hey, they're just going to show up because we put our uniforms and shoes on. And it's just not that way anymore.
I think it's kind of a cop-out. To me, this is an ego thing. Someone steps in a room and sees no media there after two ranked teams playing. It's an ego thing. She came out a couple days later, and this is part of the quote, and she said to Front Office Sports, "I'm just asking for proportionate growth and coverage with the growth of our game, and I'm happy to support non-traditional media that wants to tell the stories of our players in appropriate ways." Okay. I don't know. I think the proportionate growth thing, I think it's a cop-out. That's just me. Yeah. I could be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I just think...
And what are you doing as a coach to help with that process? Has your PR person come to you and asked you, hey, can you do this, or that? Or can you go out in the community and sign autographs for, the Boys and Girls Club? Or I'm sure that there's some of that stuff going on, but you can't just, again, it just doesn't magically appear. You got to cultivate it, man. You got to plant the seeds and put fertilizer on it and water it. And you can't just expect this full-grown oak tree. You got to actually, grow it.
I worked with another women's basketball coach that totally understood the media side of it. Mm-hmm. And that's partially because they had a media degree in journalism. Mm-hmm. And was always willing to do content when we asked, was always willing to say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. There's a way to do it. And I'd encourage, if you're a coach out there and media coverage is really important to you, maybe take some classes to really, truly understand what that relationship is and how you can nurture and grow it. Because I know a lot of professionals, and this isn't a knock on people working in sports, but a lot of people in SID positions or any of these positions, the pay's low, the experience isn't there. Not as many people are applying anymore. So this goes back to stuff we said on other episodes. And I'm not speaking to UCLA. I'm just saying in general, if you're looking to have the most experienced comms person, that might not be the case at a lot of places anymore.
Yeah. But I also I would encourage her to ask these questions of her communication staff. If you have questions about the way things work, ask them. Why weren't there people here today? What is the process behind all that? Why, how come we get people when we go to Rutgers and I don't have, what's the deal here? What's the difference? And or how can I make things better for you in LA to get more people to care about what we do?
Find a solution instead of complaining about it.
Right. Just ask questions, man. And again, like you said, if that is a big deal to you, you're the coach at UCLA women's basketball, you probably need to go somewhere else. You need to go someplace go to a college town where there's nothing else going on, and you hone your craft where people, they draw pretty well, though. We were looking. They have 3,500, 4,000 at games. I mean, pretty good. But if that's a big deal to you, you probably need to go somewhere else. That's just my advice.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, she probably kind of got what she wanted. I mean, this story,
talking about
this
it.
quote
Yeah.
was aggregated everywhere. She came out with an additional quote through a UCLA spokesman a couple days later, and a lot of major sites picked it up.
Yep.
So, I'm going to do something fun here, Boggs.
Okay.
And you tell me what I miss out on here. Since it's the new year, I'm going to do my part.
Okay.
I'm giving free advice to all coaches, not just UCLA.
You're not going to do this again. You're not giving free advice to people.
In the
You can't.
form of a checklist. You know
You
why?
can't
Because
be doing this.
it's a new year, and everybody loves a checklist to start the
This
new
is
year.
free content you're giving people. We do this for free. Come on, man.
Shut down the show.
Maybe we do a Patreon for this list.
Hey, man, we got to start making money on this.
I know, right? Jeez.
So I titled this, A Helpful Checklist for Coaches Who Are Mad at the Media.
Nice.
Would you
All
like
right.
to hear it?
I would love to hear it. This is great.
All right. This is a checklist. 1, stop worrying about the media that covers you.
It's a good one.
Stop worrying about the media that doesn't cover you.
Another good one.
Stop worrying about the media asking tough questions.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about the media writing something you don't like.
Ooh, yeah.
Stop worrying about whether the media who covered your game stayed for quotes after the game. That's for you, UCLA.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about whether they quoted you accurately, inaccurately, or out of context.
Yeah.
And definitely stop worrying about how they tweeted the story and the headline that accompanied it.
Yeah.
Should I continue?
Yeah. Keep going. I like this.
Stop worrying about how many reporters were physically in the building versus Zoom. Stop worrying about whether the presser ran 2 questions too long.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you ever have that happen? Boggsy,
Oh, yeah.
why did you not kill that presser after 8 minutes?
But I will say, dude, we had a situation where I had to get my coach out of the room because he would go do a radio interview after he did his post-game presser, which was actually, and I didn't think about this, it's a very
Genius.
smart strategy. It's very smart because I got to get him out. Like he got to go do a radio interview. So I would be like 2 questions, last question, whatever. So I would end things pretty quickly. We would be in and out. So anyway, yeah, don't worry about going 2 over, but a good PR person will make sure you don't go 2 over.
Hey, I witnessed that firsthand, man. You were in
I
and
know,
out.
right? We would end this thing. We would end it.
The next one on the checklist, stop asking why ESPN wasn't there.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable.
Most importantly, coaches, stop worrying about things like this that no one else in the world gives a shit about.
Correct.
And stop asking for more coverage while scolding the people who might give it to you at the same
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Stop doing this out loud. Stop
Yep.
doing it on the record. Stop doing
Yep.
it immediately after winning a basketball game.
Winning a game. Yes.
Just worry about coaching the team
Yep.
and let the SID quietly suffer in peace.
One thing I wanted to kind of get across here is that I agree with you 100%. And I mentioned before, it's out of your control what people write about your team. But it's human nature to pay attention and want to control it.
It is.
But I'm going to harken back to what I had a coach say once during practice. During practice, he's like, hey, when we practice, I'm trying to get kids to go against human nature, not to quit when my mind says I should, to believe we can win even if we're down 5 with a minute to go. Our human nature tells us it's not possible, but we can do things that are great and sometimes impossible if we go against it. Practice what you preach. Just ignore it. That's the main thing, man. Just practice what you preach. Don't you tell your kids every day, hey, it's us against the world, you know? They don't believe in you. It's us against the world. What? Just act like that, man. It's your team. That's what you can control. You can control practice. You can control what offense you run. You can control. There's a lot of things you can control. Who you recruit, who your strength coach is, who your athletic trainer is for the most part. I mean, you can choose all of these things. Just choose to not worry about that. That's one less thing for you to have to worry and stress about.
Hey, coaches a lot of times will say publicly, oh, yeah, I distance myself from all the noise and all of those things. But have you ever been around some of coaches that you knew behind the scenes they couldn't wait to read the post-game coverage in the media, or even for, like, let's say Olympic sports that weren't getting media coverage, they couldn't wait to see what that recap looked like on the website, where it was placed. Did you insert a quote? All of those things.
Yeah. You know, I've experienced coaches tell me, that doesn't matter. I don't care. But then I've also experienced media members finding me one day and saying, hey, I heard from your coach last night. He wasn't very happy about my headline or wasn't happy about what I reported or da-da-da-da. So it matters, man. Don't let – if you hear somebody say that, you hear a coach say that, it ain't true. That is just not true. They care. They care about everything that happens with their program. And Olympic sports coaches, they're probably the same way. I've never had anyone kind of get after me about a recap or anything like that. Have you heard from Olympic sports? Barca used to do websites.
I do website editorial. You don't remember times that would be like, you'd have to come to me or somebody come to me like, hey, Barca, man, my coach is really asking about this, trying to think of a sport. What can I say? This water polo recap and why it's not the top story on the website.
Yeah, we have had those before. Or, you just do a preemptive strike and you're like, hey, Barca, can we get this when can I have this at the front of the website, And you would tell me, hey, certain amount of time, this is probably good at this time you can probably have it for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I'd usually say you can have it from the hours of 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Hey, like I just took whatever I could get. But all you could do was say, I tried. Maybe I threw you under the bus some. It's like, Barca just wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, I have been. Yep, for sure.
So
but coaches, man, they'll be in tune with some of them, like how long it took to put up the recap and the box score and the scores, especially Olympic sports. And maybe that's because they have parents asking and that are following from far away that can't travel all around the country and stuff. But it's interesting to deal with, especially on the college level. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, though, I would always communicate with, especially my Olympic sports coaches, and they were always really good about this, that, especially there's some overlap there. We talked about the overlap in the fall and overlapping seasons. There's some basketball, golf overlap. And I would just have to tell them, like, hey, guys, I'm going to be on a plane when I can't write this recap. It's going to be a little bit later. I would just give them a heads up. Like, hey, I'm going to get this thing out as soon as I can, but it's not going to be until later tonight till it's done. That's just the way the world has to be sometimes. You can't. I didn't have wireless on the planes I was on, unfortunately.
So final question.
Yeah.
And this could be for any SID, and you're in this situation like what happened at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
What's your game plan? Are you frantically coming up with a way to annoy every media person that covers the sport all over the globe for the rest of the season? Or are you just like, man, I'm tired of this shit. I'm updating my resume, and I'm working on an escape plan.
I think for me, in that situation, I just wear it. I just wear it for a day or two. And, maybe the next time I see a media member, hey, did you hear what Coach just said? Can't believe she said that. I really value everything you guys do for us, and I know it's a tough time of year, and I would just wear it. Who are you going to contact in L.A.? That's...
Bill Plaschke, can you cover us?
Bill Plaschke or, the television stations, they get 2 minutes every night. That's another thing when it came to this press conference. I was like, what are you expecting media to do with it? Your TV stations in L.A. have 2 minutes a night. They have the Lakers and the Clippers and the Rams are about to play in the playoffs. The Chargers are playing in the playoffs. I mean, hello? What are you kind of expecting out of this? So, again, I think the problem could be solved with a little bit of education on the front end. If she's willing to listen, it's like, hey, this is a situation now. It's not like it was when we were growing up. Because, I mean, I'm a little bit younger than her, but not much.
I used to try to do things to help the if there was a big game. Once we started like live capturing through the control room or my laptop, a press conference, and this was really only if the coach from the home team and the away team both attended in the same room where I had the setup. I would capture both files, and then I would try to just distribute that to the opposing team when we could. And if the opposing team that was visiting didn't have someone there, then I would probably lean on the SID, like, hey, if you want to, we'll get you this file. You just have to ask your coach like 3 questions. Then we can distribute that file back to everybody in UCLA where they use it whether they use it on the news or not,
they have,
or you have independent reporters. And so there are probably some other ways too. It puts a little more work on the SID to be like, okay, I've got to interview my coach for 3 questions. And if they feel comfortable with that relationship to do that. But there's some ways too that sometimes home teams can help, especially when you're talking about like a conference game. And hopefully they all work together. I mean, I haven't done it for several years at college, but towards the end of it, we would try to do things like that again that's again, like, okay, they may not be in the room or on virtual, but we're being proactive on our side of things to then service media.
Yeah, like for our recaps, I don't know if you were there like at this time, but the control room sends me a link because we would do everything in the same room once the network came on, because the network from Charlotte, if we had a big win or they had a big win, they want to run that stuff live from the press room. And so we would send out, with our recap, we would send out a video to the visiting coach's press conference, our press conference, and our players' press conference. We didn't have, and actually towards the end, we would have visiting players go in with the visiting coach, and I would tell the SID, like, hey, man, just ask the players a couple questions, and then they can leave. But at least media, if they want it, they have it. I don't think anybody ever used it, but they had it,
Still available.
Still available. So. And I'm sure UCLA probably had that too. Like they probably have some, VPN or some hosting place where they put all of their press conferences. The SEC had that. If you needed it, you could always go to the SEC and download whatever press conference you wanted. So, I mean, there are ways to do it. But again, in LA, when you've got 2 professional basketball teams, you got 2 NFL teams in the playoffs, you got all these other things going on. Have you made relationships enough with people in the media for them to actually care? That's the problem. That's where we get to sticking point.
Hey, like Bill Simmons says, Coach, just relax, drink a little settle down juice.
Yes. Well, there's no doubt.
You just had a big win, a major win.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay, Coach. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. But, they're not wired that way. That's just not the way they're wired. And, they go to practice and they see something minuscule that's wrong. They're going to correct it, right? That's just
a short circuit.
It's a short circuit, and that's just in their DNA. I mean, you could talk to a coach who wins a big game tonight after they're finished, and they're going to find 5 things that went wrong. They just are. That's just coaches. And so she obviously falls into that category. So.
Well, I've had 2 types of coaches in this type of scenario. One, someone that really does care about getting more coverage for the sport, or 2, a coach that is always approaching everything from we don't have enough or just a negative angle. And it's just, it gets worse and worse over time. And every interaction, the only times you ever hear from them, I'm talking about like from marketing side of things and those things, is when it's something that they don't have. And from that part of the relationship, I'm hoping this is not the case for her at UCLA, but I've experienced some of those coaches, and it just makes the relationship miserable because there is no relationship.
Yeah. It's like an energy sucking thing. It's like energy vampire. Like every time you're around a coach like that, it's like,
I'd have basketball assistants on both the men's side and the women's side where we'd walk down the hallway, say in the gym, walking. It's only 2 of us walking on each side. And I would say, hey, coach, or how you doing, coach? Wouldn't make any eye contact. Would just walk straight past me.
Mm-hmm.
But when they needed something.
Ooh, they were there.
That same walk. Oh, hey, Barca, what's up, man?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
The worst
The worst, man.
Those were the worst relationships, and I had those every time. And there was nothing about those relationships over time where eventually I would just be like, you know what, I'm not killing myself for this, because this is a one-sided relationship, and I'm only valuable to you based on what I can do for you.
Right.
And that's part of the job. But you know what? As you've always said before, there's a human element to this.
There is. It's like a using thing. It's like they're just there to use you. And I don't think anybody likes to be used in any part of their life. And, you know, sometimes you're a support staff member for a high-profile team, you're going to feel like you're used, that they're just going to crumple you up like a piece of paper and throw you out the window. And for them, sometimes they do. And those are the worst. Those are really, really bad situations. I think they can cause some pretty big mental health issues. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but it's really, really hard on people.
You get it.
All right, Boggs, real quick, before we wrap up, I wanted to try something new. This is just going to be rapid fire responses and answers.
Yeah, I love it.
For the millions and millions of people listening at home or watching on YouTube, Boggs has no idea what this segment's about, what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's a surprise. It wasn't in the show notes. It's not in the rundown.
Okay.
I'm going to call this segment Poking the Boggs.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm just going to read some recent news headlines.
Okay.
And I just want to get your real reaction.
Just initial, like off the top of the dome.
Exactly. Just rapid fire, and we'll all know how you truly feel. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Again, these are headlines
This is going to be fun.
that I pulled off websites over the last few days.
Okay.
The first one, with all of the coaching changes that are going on in the NFL, Bill Belichick reiterated that he has no desire to return to the NFL.
Because he can't coach there. He sucks. How about that? He can't coach anymore. He doesn't have Tom Brady.
I don't think people are dialing up his phone right now.
No. What kind of question is that? Why is he asking? Why are you asking Belichick that? Are you going to coach in the NFL again? Who's going to hire him? There's tons available coaching positions right now. No one wants to sniff that guy, man.
Yeah, that's true. Why are people asking him this again after last year?
What are you asking him for? Like, he just went 4-8 or whatever they went. Like, he stunk.
Great point.
Yeah. Brutal.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Live Golf is entering its 5th season.
Yeah. I have no idea anything about Live Golf. I do know they have a tournament here locally. I know they play team golf. I don't know how they do the teams. I've tried to watch. Have you tried to watch it?
No.
The television format is really jacked up. Like, they have this one, they're keeping track of, I don't know what they're keeping track of. I mean, I'm a longtime sports guy. I'm not stupid. I have a master's degree.
You're a golf guy.
I'm a golf guy. I can't keep up with what they're doing. Like, they have these teams, and they have this stretch on they have a leaderboard, and it changes and flashes, and there's all these different colors, and they all wear shorts.
It's in its 5th season. It's in its 5th season, and you don't care. That's the main thing about it.
Well, you know, Koepka just quit Live. I'm interested to see how he's going to get back on the tour. He'll figure out a way. You know, Bryson's contract is up at the end of this year. He said he wants to go back, but he's drawing 3 million people on YouTube. So, no, I don't know anything about Live. I know they have a tournament here locally. I think they play a bunch of music when you come to the tee. It's like some big rock party or whatever. They fly their people around. I think they fly their players and wives around on this huge Saudi plane. I think that was a big deal when they first came out. But I don't know anything about Live. I'll probably never, ever watch Live.
Seems to be a failed experiment.
Yeah.
I will say I am all for competition in leagues.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've seen this now time and time again over the last couple decades. It usually doesn't work out.
No, and I think the PGA Tour is actually a pretty good product right now. They have some really, really good players. I mean, Scheffler is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. So I think the PGA Tour, and they're paying more. These guys are making more money. There's a base salary now, or a base amount of money that they pay everybody if you get your card. So that's good too. So, granted, it used to be back in the day, if you didn't make the cut, you didn't make any money. But I think they pay a little bit of money to people just to kind of stay afloat. So I think they're making some changes there. I like where the PGA Tour is going.
The next one, $1 million QBs are dominating the transfer portal window.
Mm-hmm.
Some QBs getting between 5 to 8 million.
I mean, that's the market, man. I'm okay with it. I just wish they would tell us how much everybody made. I would just like to have a salary sheet from the Florida Gators or Florida State, like, hey, this is what everybody's making. Here's the cap. Just treat it like professional. I don't mind kids making money. I really don't. Like, the kid at Ole Miss should be making as much money as he can make. He's a D2 kid. I mean, come on. Now he's going to make $3, $4, $5 million. I mean, if you take care of your money, you can set your family up for a long time. And he's playing in front of 80, 90, 100,000 people. He should be making money.
Kids deserve to be paid.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like you're at an auction.
Yeah.
You see that escalator, that price, people are holding up their signs like, I'm going to bid this, I'm going to bid that, I'm going to bid that. The previous year or two, it was like, $2 to $3 million for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're approaching that 6, 7, 8 million.
Yeah.
Just going to keep on going up as the demand's there.
Well, and also, too, you're figuring out, donors are figuring out ways to get around this new CSC NIL Go thing, which is stupid. The NCAA can't enforce any rules. So at the end of the day, these guys should get what they want, get what they need, and can get out there. And, it's just so messed up, dude. It's just so messed up. And it doesn't have to be this way.
Another one on college football. Heading into the CFP semifinals, Miami's postseason run nets $14 million, and the Canes get to keep it all.
Yeah, man.
You eviscerated the ACC, I think, on our last episode of 2025. What do you think on this?
I kind of like it. I don't think I would give them the whole deal, but I kind of like it. When I saw the number that Ohio State made, as little as they made for winning the national championship, that really just kind of ticked me off, because those guys should be getting way more than $2.5 million. Netting $2.5 million from the CFP. They should just be making more. The kids should be getting a piece of this too. There should be player bonuses, 100%, 100%. Maybe that's how the bowls stay relevant. They put out hey, we're gonna pay the kids. Here's the structure. They're gonna have to, I think, to stay. And maybe players will be cool with that if they're making. If you go to the championship game and you're making $100,000 per kid, you make the semis, you make 60. You make the quarters, you make 40. I don't know. There's got to be a way to do that. I mean, heck, they're finding money under every stone out there, aren't they, Barca? I mean, is the money ever going to dry up? Ever?
I think the problem right now is you've got all of these donors.
Yeah.
That are spending money on players, and then players are leaving after a year. I'm curious to see how that dynamic changes, because obviously Mark Cuban has a ton of money. He probably doesn't care. He'll just keep flooding Indiana with it. But I don't know. I feel like some of the wells are going to dry up here over time.
I think they are. I mean, it makes sense that it's just going to dry up. I mean, maybe we're wrong. Maybe there's these billionaires just have endless supplies of money, which, maybe they do, but it's got to dry up one of these days, right?
I think it's definitely going to give some schools an advantage.
Yeah.
The ones that have the bottomless pockets of billionaires. But at some places, like, sometimes you might be tapped out and you might need to go searching somewhere else outside of the Ewing compound in Dallas to strike oil.
But, also, too, on the flip side, we haven't talked about this, but the teams in the Final Four, Miami, Indiana? Oregon's been around, and who's the other one? Ole Miss. So, do we have this championship 10 years ago?
We don't.
I don't know. I
No.
think, too, people really, really forget quickly that before NIL, there was still money being paid under the table. It was just the big boys that could get away with it. And now everybody pays. So, that's my take. Kids, go get your money, man. Go get it. You may not ever get it again. If you want to play 6 years, play 6 years. Go do it. Who cares?
And our final headline
Mm.
in Poking the Boggs.
Yeah.
The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office denied the A's request to trademark Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics. Got any ideas? Got any ideas for a team name?
But what I didn't read enough into that. Did you read on why they decided to? Is it because of what the Oakland A's own it? Is that it?
I didn't get into what was the word used earlier? The gobbledygook?
Gobbledygook, yeah.
I did not get into the deep part of the article.
It's got to be something card related. It's got to be like the studs or something, like stud poker, or maybe something craps related. Could be like sevens, or it could be field bet, or
don't pass line. The Las Vegas don't pass line.
That's right. The Vegas pass lines.
The Las Vegas, all the numbers.
That's right. It's just, dude, the numbers. That could be the name. The Vegas numbers.
Vegas
That's
numbers.
Who they
or
are.
The Las Vegas craps.
That's right.
Oh, dude, I would wear my craps hat.
Me
Proud.
too.
I'd be like, oh, you're a fan of the craps?
Oh my gosh, this is a great idea. Like their logo could be a table, or it could be the stick that the guy behind the, or it could just be dice.
The
Dude,
Yo 11.
this has got to happen, man.
The Yo 11.
The Yo 11.
There's a lot of possibilities off the craps table. I do like the Las Vegas craps.
Me too. It may not be, it may not be kid friendly though. Like if my son who's 7, well, maybe it would. Maybe they just love to say craps. I mean, everything that's
He'd be
body
laughing
function.
every time he said it. Yeah.
Everything that's bodily function.
Target market
oriented.
is that age, boys.
Oh yeah, he's all about it. Yeah,
well, I'm going to do some work
man.
for you. I've got a name.
Oh, okay.
You ready for this? It's a long
Yes.
one. I don't know if it
Okay.
can fit in the standings page or on the hat or on the jersey.
Yeah.
But this is for my friends in the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call them the Las Vegas former fans from the Bay who showed up for 56 years in a falling apart Coliseum on concrete seats through 90 lost seasons, watching a billionaire sabotage the city and sell the team on rooted in Oakland, but got freaking uprooted from Oakland. Fans were so abandoned they were doing lewd shit in the upper deck just to feel something, anything, from Bash Brothers to getting their nuts bashed in by a two-faced turncoat. Then the MLB signed off on this hit job and made the team play homeless baseball in a minor league park before dumping it in the desert for the love of the money, not for the love of the game, and still have the nerve to call it progress athletics.
I love that. Let's do it. Let's print it. I'd love that. It really is comical that they're making these guys play in Sacramento in a place that seats like 8,000 people. It really is comical.
I spaced out on that one, Boggsy.
That was a good one. That's the T-shirt we need to get made. Yeah, let's.
Where am I?
Make sure. We gotta
Boggsy,
make sure.
where are we?
We gotta make sure we save that one. That's a good one.
I just crapped out.
You rolled sevens. Yeah.
That's for all my friends in the Bay.
Yeah. Man.
That got royally screwed over.
They really did. Well, I like that segment. Maybe I could come up one with you next time. A secret segment.
Time to wrap it up.
And that's another edition of No Longer Credentialed. Thanks to all of you listening, and if you like it, tell a friend and give it a 5-star rating on your podcast app of choice. Don't forget to check us out on social media at NLCPod on X, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, keep grinding.